What's up, homie? It's me again, Bob Ferguson.
I just saw one battle after another. Here are my thoughts. I don't think I've ever gone into a movie with this much hype. Like, critical hype. And I kind of wish I didn't look at the reviews. I didn't look at any written reviews. But I saw that it was like the 35th highest rated movie of all time on Letterboxd. Like, that's a totally different situation and movie-going experience than me seeing Weapons knowing absolutely nothing about it. Here are my thoughts. Let's get into it. I wasn't a big fan of the first, 25 minutes or so. And it was also surprisingly, sexual and graphic, and that's okay. I knew I had another, 3.5 hours ahead of me, so. And, yeah, so I saw this in IMAX. Movie theater was crowded, active. They were laughing, gasping. And that's what you want. I know some people wouldn't want that. Some people want to be by themselves in the movie theater. I get that. But for a movie like this, it makes it seem more like a community and everyone is gathering to watch this movie, and that's paying off. But yeah, so things started gearing up, especially when they did the 16 years later jump. Then it started getting really good. Yeah, I know stuff like this has happened, but one thing I found really implausible about the revolutionary group French 75 is that basically almost everyone he met during the movie that wasn't a cop was a part of the group somehow. It was larger than just him, and even the nurse at the hospital where the cops took him showed him the exit strategy, and I don't know, felt a little impossible. Didn't really bother me though. Didn't take away. And Sean Penn, he had an amazing villain performance, but let me just get this out of the way now. Dude is huge. You could tell he's been in the lab, especially for his age. Pure motivation right there. He had his own mannerisms that just made for a perfectly unique character. That little thing he did with his lips, ugh. And he wasn't just a villain to be a villain. He showed conflict and vulnerability. He was vulnerable to Tiana Taylor's character. Come on. And by the way, I know usually in my reviews, I kind of do a summary. So if you're watching this review to get a summary of the entire movie, this specific one is not for that. I'm just going to go through my thoughts. But yeah, after Willow got kidnapped, Leo DiCaprio's son, that's really when it started heating up for me. When she was in those zip tie handcuffs and we saw that car chase, that might be the best cinematic scene I've seen all year. Oh my god. With the hills and the mixed perception, she couldn't see who was coming and it was in and out, and it really messed with her and both of the drivers, and it was amazing. Beautifully shot, one shots, oneers, amazing. I've voiced my opinions on this before. I don't like it when movies or shows do excessive cuts, And PTA in this movie, he shows that you don't need to do that, Most of the shots in this movie, some of them are even from far away. The character's out of focus, but at least I'd hope the audience is smart enough to actually catch what's going on. And dude, I was so surprised when Lockshot got shot. Everyone was. But then when they brought him back, everyone was kind of what the fuck? Why would they bring him back? But yeah, they kind of brought him back just to kill him again. And this time when he died, he kind of died happily, in his office. So I wasn't too sold on that. And when the hitman dude had changes of heart and shot at that whole little camp that she was at, good on him. But dude, that scene was so No Country for Old Men inspired. And if you can't see that, you probably have not seen No Country for Old Men. And I think this movie kind of wore the influences of the Coen brothers on its sleeve. Not just No Country. Also Fargo, obviously. A little bit of Raising Arizona, too. And even more surprisingly, Big Lebowski. I noticed that. And this movie, it is kind of a comedy, too. Yeah, but if you're going to watch this, see it on the big screen. But a few more things before I give my rating. I think Oscars-wise, Best Director is definitely in sight for PTA. Not only because this movie is amazingly directed, but it's more of a legacy award for him because he's one of the most legendary directors alive and he hasn't won one yet. But it might be Ryan Coogler also. Leo DiCaprio is going to get nominated for Best Actor, Chase Infinity for Best Supporting Actress, and Sean Penn for Best Supporting Actor, probably. This is Best Screenplay, I'm not really sure. I guess technically it's adapted. And Best Picture nom, too, I wouldn't be surprised if it's costume design, cinematography. It has a lot of awards in sight. And I also wanted to predict the box office. I think it could hit like an easy 350. If only it weren't for AMC pulling it out of certain IMAX screens, which is a fumble because I think they're replacing it with Twilight because they didn't know it was going to be a success. But anyway, my prediction is like 250, but at its complete like ceiling, maybe it goes up to 400. But yeah, one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson, it's a 9 out of 10. The hype is warranted, and you should go see it. I totally recommend this watch. It's fun. It's amazing. It's peak. So let me know what you guys thought if you're going to watch it. And comment below.